So we don't have anybody who I don't enjoy spending time around at all,
Yeah. Yeah.
except for you.
I mean, fair enough. I get it. I get it. I don't even like my own company, Foltzy. It sucks. I hate
Oh,
it. I
whatever.
hate it. I
Yeah,
hate it.
everybody loves
Um,
Su-Ann. It's just
no, that is
it's a damn affliction, is what it is.
no, you and I know that's not true. Welcome to another episode of Fairway to Heaven. This is a LIV Golf podcast with myself, Su-Ann Heng, and Jerry Foltz as your host. Thank you for joining us. Foltz is currently in Riyadh as we speak, Saudi
Yes,
Arabia, for the Saudi
yes.
International, and I am still in Singapore. How are you doing? Are you jet lagged?
No, I'm too tired to be jet lagged. Let's see, I flew from Orlando to Dubai, which is a long flight, but that was really cool. Nice flight, easy, no problem.
Mm,
Slept a lot, and then 6 hours in Dubai, and then flew here and got in 2:30. I landed, got to the hotel about 4, in my room about 4:30. So it was actually too late to go to sleep. So I basically just missed a night's sleep. And when
wow.
I got back to the room about an hour and a half ago, I'm like, I literally, I couldn't keep my balance. I was so tired. So I took a big long shower to try and re-energize for this podcast, and it worked.
Good for you. You should probably, like, after this podcast, go back outside and try and stay up as long as you can. Because if you stay in that room, you're going to fall asleep and you're going to be
Yeah, I know.
so fucked
I know.
for
Well,
days.
they didn't have my room because when I got here, either I was way too early for a 3 p.m. check-in or way too late for my check-in. I don't know, but I got this little closet room. So that's one thing that's going to keep me occupied is I get to change rooms to a normal room. Literally, I fell down last night and I hit all four walls at the same time.
You've had some good stories in terms of rooms that you've been
Oh yeah.
getting throughout our like 3 seasons now. You seem to just get shafted from time to time. Like you're either in the
Well,
corner with like no closet space, no ironing board. Like I don't know what's going on.
I do get shafted because oftentimes I feel like I'm staying in the elevator shaft because you hear it go by every single time. You know, they have the room next to like the electrical room or the
Yeah.
elevators, and it's just basically sawed
Ice
off to where the,
machine. That's the
yeah.
worst
Oh,
too.
and the thing is, nothing really bothers me until it's like every single week, and then it's like, really, there are no hotel gods, but it's a
Karma's a
very nice hotel.
bitch, Volty. Karma's a
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah, you're always in that luxury suite, so I don't want to hear about
Oh, well, I'm excited to hear you being back on the golf course, and damn
it.
right
Whew,
I'll be tuning in. Are you gonna be
yeah,
lead this
that's
week? You're leading?
I don't. I hope not. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I'm just here to be a little additive and, show the inherent cooperation between the international series funded by PIF
Mm.
and also, of course, LIV Golf. I have no idea what they have planned for me, but they're a fun group to work with, just like our group. Of course, you have Dom. He's always fun. Doogie Donnelly is a
Hmm.
legend, Scottish legend. Anthony Kang is a blast, and I just got to meet your fellow countryman Tim Lowe today, and
Very
he's quite the
nice.
personality. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to hear kind of your feelings after your first day of walking.
I
It's
know. It's a
been,
flat course. It's dead
I
ass
know, but
flat.
still, it is long, as I've
Yeah,
heard. It's decently long, but you just haven't done it in 3, 4
no.
years.
I think my last tournament was a Vegas match play early in 2022 on the LPGA. And then my last men's golf on the course was Bermuda, I think the year before. So it's been a long time since I've had to follow the golf ball coming off a man's club. So it should be interesting.
Oh,
Fortunately, my eyes are working good. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm a little nervous about it, to be quite honest. It's been
are
so long
you
since I've done it.
really? Are
Yeah.
you?
And and the equipment that you use here is not quite as technologically advanced as what we get from our
Hmm.
subcontractors. So you have a guy who has your mic and a big
And a
giant pole with an
pole.
antenna on it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're out there, getting your yardages or reading putts and stuff, and then it's your turn to talk, you've got to find him really quickly to go grab your mic and be able to talk. So it'll be
Right.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you it'll be like riding a bike for you. It's
Yeah, we'll
gonna come
see.
right back and you're gonna
I
just
could
do what
just
you
be
do.
absolutely crap too. You know that.
No, no.
Yeah, I could
Come
be
on.
absolutely
You did
crap.
it for how long? It's not gonna
Uh,
just magically leave you, Foltzy.
subtle little reminder of my age. I appreciate that. It wasn't
Hmm.
quite as blatant as normal. Yeah. First round, I get Tyrrell, which is always a blast, as you know, to follow.
That's
Dean
awesome.
Burmester,
Yeah.
Dean Burmester, and Cam Smith.
Oh, nice. What a
Yeah.
group. Jeez.
Well, 42 of our guys are playing here this week. 42.
That's right.
Yeah.
42. Yes. And since you brought that up, let's get right into our shotgun start. Speaking of which, yes, the International Series ranking wraps up this week in Riyadh. They're going to be playing for 5 million bucks
Yeah.
this week for the purse, and of course, one golden ticket to Live Golf League next year. Peter Uihlein, raining on People's Parade. He's coming in, took the lead of the International Series ranking, and he's leading by some 143 plus points over John
Yep.
Catlin, who's been pretty much leading the International Series rankings the entire way. So just to let people know, and Foltzy, you can expand on this, the one spot, let's say if Peter Uihlein ends up running away with the International Series rankings after a fantastic week this week in Saudi, that it doesn't go down to the next
No.
person because he's obviously on our
No.
league, right? So he's got a spot on our league. He continues. But the spot does not filter down to the second ranked player.
Correct. No, because we're always under the current political structure of the game. It looks like we'll always have quite a few players playing here, many of which, like a Scott or Kieran Vincent, who've been relegated.
Hmm.
But guys also having finished out of the lock zone will be playing here and also playing for their chance at the card. So it's just hard to draw that line. So no, it's one and done. And the I don't know. As a competitor, I don't like this part. As a fan, I think it's awesome. The winner, this Peter Uihlein, has 1,071 points for the
Hmm.
9 tournaments so far in the international series. This tournament's worth 1,000. So there's like 25 or 30 guys, if they win, will grab that spot. And
Right.
John Catlin today during the pro, he told us on the previous hole, some reporters are out there wanting to get some sound bites from him. They said one of the questions was, "How's it feel to be a member of LIV Golf next year?" And he's not even leading the points list now.
Oh my God. How did he respond?
I think he's pretty classy. I don't think he embarrassed the guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah, no, it's a lot of points up for grabs, as Don mentioned previously. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. Um, but yeah, I would say pressure is on John. Um, you know, he's been in the lead the entire season. He's had
yeah,
a taste of what playing on the Live Golf League is like, and so is Ben Campbell. Those
yeah,
two guys, I think, and I think, talking to them throughout this year as them being reserves for the 2024 season, they love it out there. I mean, who
yeah.
wouldn't, right? But
Who wouldn't?
they
Yeah,
now have experienced what it's like. And so they love it and they want to play in it. Like John really loves it, as he mentioned to us on the podcast. And so it's almost like they've got so much more to lose, like obviously don't talk about the financial side of things, but just from a career standpoint, it's a lot
yeah.
on the line this week in Riyadh for those two guys,
Well,
I think.
but it's hard to get away from the financial thing when you look at somebody like John Catlin, who basically was a journeyman for his whole career, fighting to be able to make enough money to pay the bills and continue chasing the dream. And this year, he
Right.
finally got to the point where he actually has enough money to fund himself for a while and maybe put a little away in the bank or buy a nicer house or something. I think 1.5 million or so all total on the Asian tour, plus what he made within LIV Golf, which I think was more or close to it.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's that's a big thing to him, and that's just more added pressure. And all three of those guys you mentioned are paired together for the first 2 rounds. Campbell,
Are they?
Catlin
I
and Peter
haven't seen the
Uihlein. Yeah,
pairings. That's awesome. That is
yeah,
awesome. Um,
yeah.
yeah, and by the way, speaking of Catlin, he did wrap up the Asian Tour Order of Merit. So he's
Yeah.
officially topped that chart, separate from the international series. For those of you who might not be as familiar with those rankings, they're both separate rankings. So yes, it's going to be exciting. I'm really excited to watch this week for many reasons. Foltzy, you're on the golf course. 42 of our guys are playing. The LIV Golf League Golden ticket through the International Series is going to be determined by this week. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
Feels like I haven't watched our guys play. I mean, a few of them been playing around the world a little bit, but not together, and 42
Yeah.
guys are playing. So it'll be really fun to
Yeah.
be on the
Yeah.
couch. I might make myself a little drink. Your
That's
phone will
not
be
fair.
buzzing.
That's not
Your
fair.
phone will your phone will be buzzing.
That's not fair.
I'll crack open a nice little cold Bud Light on your behalf. How about that?
Oh, you're cruel. Absolutely cruel. Yeah.
Pour into an ice cold glass and just as faulty go.
Uh,
He's got 159 yards to the pin.
I would get fired if I said I was what I was thinking right now.
Anyways, moving along, Peter Uihlein, he won by 5 shots over Charles Schwartzel in Qatar last week. Good playing by him, man. He's playing some really good golf. I don't think he had the season he wanted in the LIV Golf League season this year. Just things never really came together for him.
Yeah.
And then obviously he must have found something, some kind of consistency with his driver. And he's always been a great putter, right? He's
Yeah.
magician-like with the putter.
Yeah.
So things are coming together for him, and yeah, he's stacking it up. He is
Yeah.
stacking it up.
He seems to be keeping it in play off the tee a lot better, which has kind of always been his bugaboo when he's not playing his best. And you're right, he's a great putter. He either putts good or he putts great. And he had quite a few tournaments this year within LIV where he putted good. And when you're not hitting the ball, as well as you can, and you're not getting it done on the greens like you rely on a lot, then it leads to a disappointing season overall. And remember, I keep beating this dead horse. They only have 13 individual tournaments for the entire season. That's a very small sample size to judge an
Yeah.
entire year, but that's the nature of the league. And that's what makes each individual event that much more important to each player and pressure packed. And it's only 3 rounds, 39 rounds to determine your individual season.
Yeah. And by the way, when you drive it poorly, it just puts so much pressure on your scrambling game,
Yeah.
around the greens, on the greens. And the worse you drive, the more pressure you put on those areas of your game. And it's just
Yeah.
it comes a point where you can't, I mean, unless you're Cam Smith, or Patrick Reed, baby, but it's difficult, it's so difficult if you don't drive it straight to get any confidence. So congrats to Pete on his second International Series win. Usti, he finished tied third. Burmy, Lahiri, Chakara, they finished tied eighth. Another good week for Patrick Reed. He finished tied 13th. Speaking of Reed, how about his 59
I
in
know.
Hong
What was that?
Kong? Did you see? Okay, no, I know the golf course is softer than we played it. I mean, we played it decently soft too because it was raining, but 15, could you see a 59 on that golf course?
No, well, it's just an old style, really tight tree line course. And the biggest defense against the modern game is the firmness of the grass because the ball's going to find the trees if it's just slightly offline, not even big. And then we played
Mm.
pretty firm greens until it rained on Sunday. Yeah, it wasn't the same course, but still 59 out there is ridiculously low. But he has he has that game that relies on precision and he obviously is one of the best on and around the green. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Was it the first or second one in Asian Tour history? I think I don't remember. But anyway,
Well, I mean, John Catlin shot 59 in Macau.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
I
second
think
one
it's
this year is
this,
what it was. Yeah,
yeah, second one this year.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, this was his first win since Farmers. That's back in 2021. Hard to believe.
Still
This is
amazing.
also his first international win since he's joined LIV. So, um, obviously things are coming together. I think he's talked about that. I think he's done many good things with his game separately throughout the
Yeah,
season, but just never really quite came together. He came really close in Houston. That would have been so cool for him to win there as a
yeah.
home game, but then just didn't quite have his Sunday best. But yeah, really cool.
Let's go to Australia. Leash finishing third. Yeah, Cam Smith having a bad Saturday, and Herbie was
Hmm.
there till the last day, about the last 9 holes. He's the only one in contention who
Yeah.
didn't get it done on Sunday. But Leash, that was really cool to see.
And he earned himself an exemption into this year's Open Championship. And I texted us, hey, congratulations on that ticket, to the Open. And he goes, yeah, seriously, uh, just thank God I don't have to play in a 36-hole qualifier. It's a lot of golf. But
Yeah.
yes, he's going to be playing in the Open, so congrats to him. Yeah, Waka also came in close. He was tied fifth. He didn't have a good first day. He started off a little rough
Yeah.
and then brought it back together again.
Yeah.
But we didn't get to talk about the Australian PGA last week. Elvis Smiley, who won by 2 over Cam Smith. This is the part of the story I love the most. Elvis was part of
Oh.
Cam's scholarship program back in 2019. Fast
Yep.
forward 5 years, he's teeing it up on the final day with Cam Smith and beats him by 2. How
Yeah.
cool is that? That's
That
got to
is
be
pretty
so,
damn
even
cool.
for Cam. I'm sure he was a little bummed he didn't win, but I'm sure from like a scholarship perspective and like how much he does want to grow the game and help people, he's got to have felt so mm, gratified. Is that a word?
That is a word.
It is a word. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Although that's never
Uh,
stopped you before.
no, no, no. I invent my own language as I go.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that must have been such a cool experience for both guys.
I think that got him a DP World Tour card. I'm sure it did actually.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah,
because I guess evidently we don't know anything more than what we hear released from Live, because they've gotten our organization has gotten really good about keeping a pretty tight ship as it comes to player moves, player signings. But I've read reports wherever they came from, not within Live, that Matt Jones still hasn't been re-signed by the league and Ripper, even though I know Cam wants it. And the report I read was citing numerous people from Australia within the golf community, professional and those behind the scenes, who said, yeah, every single player from Australia wants to be part of the Rippers now. So
yeah.
it's kind of cool to see that, and
Which is
I'm sure
strange though,
Elvis would love to be that guy.
because after they won in Dallas, Cam had openly said in a press conference that he was going to keep the team together.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure, maybe something changed. Look, all these captains, they have a difficult task. Most of these guys are good friends with each other, including Matt and Cam. They're so tight.
right.
They're such great buddies. It's got to be a difficult decision to then say, I'm going to have to do what's best for my team. Not to say Matt's not the best because he's played some great golf and he obviously played a huge part in getting the Rivers to win, right?
Yeah,
They had a great season as a team. So I don't know, but it's got to be a very difficult position as a captain slash friend to go, what do I do? If you have like a really
yeah,
good Australian player who's knocking on a door, says, I want to play, and you see some potential in what it could do for your franchise, for the team, for the all of it, right? It's not just about the golf, it's about building the brand Ripper GC, right? And all those things
yeah.
come to play. So it is such a difficult position. I wouldn't want to be in that position. I don't think I would have the cojones to like do shit, like that.
Well, I mean, look how tough it must be on DJ right now. They went out,
Mm,
and the first, I guess you could call it, free agent signing. They either bought or signed Thomas Pieters away from the range goats, which leaves them with 5 guys. The one guy without a contract is Pat Perez. Pat Perez and DJ are about as close as two people can get as friends.
mhm.
So yeah, he's in that same position. If Perez is going to be the odd man out and not be in the league next year, that hasn't been officially announced yet, but it sure looks that way. And that's got to be excruciatingly tough for DJ. But then again, the team has a great organization behind them, and Chris Rosasson as the GM as well, and a responsibility to that team, to that brand, to the equity they're building within the league to do the
Hmm.
best thing. And obviously, from the way they perform and if nothing more than their current ages, Thomas Pieters is going to be more sought after than Pat Perez. So that's got to be totally excruciating on DJ. But there is that responsibility, and they had a bad season.
Yeah, yeah, the Aces did not have a good season. And I'm trying to think if there's any other sport, a team sport, where a player or a captain of a team makes those decisions and play. Like most,
Yeah.
I mean, you think about like football teams or, any baseball team, they have like a GM or someone that, makes those big decisions. They trade players. Like LeBron James doesn't really have any say in who the Lakers buy and who the Lakers draft, right? He might
Well,
have some
unless it's his son.
suggestions, but
Yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so most athletes are so separate from that process. And it's, I feel like with this league and this format, with what the captain's responsibilities, it's complicated. It's hard. I don't think very
Yeah.
many playing captains in any sport has to make this decision.
Pete Rose was once a player manager. Jack Nicklaus was, I think, once or twice a playing captain on the early iteration of the Ryder Cup. But that was back in the days where it wasn't really even competitive. But yeah,
Hmm.
it doesn't happen. I mean, Keegan Bradley could be in that position next year on the Ryder Cup
Yeah.
very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Tiger was playing captain of the President's Cup too down in Melbourne.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a handful of times.
Yeah, and in those situations, you're not determining somebody's job in the future. In this one, you are.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I don't admire their position, but yes, I have to admit I'm really surprised to see Thomas Peters in the Four Aces outfit with DJ. I was just like, I
Yeah.
I had just woken up when I saw the text messages on our group chat, and I had to look at it like twice. I'm like, oh, someone's birthday. Like, is it just a photo of DJ and Peter? And then I had to look really closely to see that Thomas was wearing the Four Aces outfit. I did not see that one coming.
No, no, I didn't either.
I did not see
I did
that one
not either.
coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, I wasn't sure if Varner was going to end up being on another team either because he barely avoided relegation this year, even
Hmm.
though I don't think anybody doubts his potential and his ability based on the player that he is. But it just didn't seem like he was all that comfortable this year. And
Yeah.
I assume part of that was maybe not fitting in well with that team. But now they draft a really good friend of his. That draft they pick up a really good friend of his, somebody who he has business deals with in the app that Thomas was telling us about on this podcast. And so yeah, it looks like they're building a little more chemistry there than, or maybe back to the type of chemistry they had the first year.
Well, I mean, you never know. I mean, look at what happened with Bubba this year, with Wolfie and Uihlein, getting those two together who are obviously good buddies. And
Yeah.
part of Bubba's thinking was the chemistry, the support within the team for each other, which is so important, especially when you come down the stretch, towards the end of the year and playing in the team championship. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more trades being announced or any sort of big news. I'm still on the edge of my seat, waiting to see what happens.
On
Yeah.
my flight over, I didn't even show up on my phone until I was at the airport for my first flight. But Finau not being in the Hero World Challenge, that just swarmed social media and the internet. Every all the
Is this a
speculation
forecast?
that he's coming to live, and I guess he's not in TGL anymore either. So you would
Hmm.
certainly think that, but you and I have been with Live since day one. We have never got to a point where we didn't have a really good idea what was going on behind the scenes, and we don't know shit right now.
We didn't know shit about Rom.
We pretended not to know, but everybody has a worst kept secret in the entire office. Um, but yeah, we didn't want to believe it until it happened because that was pretty damn huge. Still is huge.
Mhm.
But yeah, they've done such a great job at keeping this behind closed doors and keeping their mouth shut. That I'm impressed with it because it's not easy. I mean, we're all so invested in this. You just want to, drop a hint to your friend, and you can't. That's great.
Yeah, but the golf industry is so small. The
Yeah,
golf world is so small. You tell one person or a manager mention something or somewhere, and it just that shit spreads like wildfire. It does.
yeah.
And the fact that we haven't heard anything, but what I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What are your predictions? Is it, if let's just hypothetically he does come over, right?
Hypothetically,
Let's just,
yeah.
hypothetically, let's just have a little fun with that kind of, let's just tease ourselves, shall we? Where would he fit in? Would he get his own team? How do you picture this?
I,
Hypothetically.
you know, we haven't brought anybody in and given. We only have two team captains, two teams without a major champion as captain. Only two, and that is Torquay and Iron Hills. So I don't know if you bring somebody in and give them their own team because he's got 7 wins on the PGA Tour or whatever it is, and no majors. If that's a big enough name to create a new team, I personally don't think it is. Um, and it certainly, if it were, it'd be the last one ever like that because we're nearing the end of the. I think we're nearing the end of this year is going to be a great year for Live Golf, but the year after it's just going to absolutely explode. So no, I think, but the thing is, Tony Finau, I say this a lot about so many of the guys who play professional golf and women are just so nice, so nice. That guy literally, I can't tell you what a gentle soul he is as a human being. And so
No.
he would fit in on any team. Any team would love to have him because he's an incredibly talented golfer. But I could see him fitting in very easily with the goats. Could have very easily seen him fit in with the four aces, and I know I can see him fitting in with Rom's team,
Yes.
Legion.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna go with. I think if I were to have a prediction, I think he would be with Rambo. I can just see that dynamic.
Rom, Finau, Hatton, and Caleb, the promising stud. Oh my God,
Can you
dynasty,
imagine? That would be so.
dynasty.
They were already pretty. They came in like Legion 13 being their first season with Liv. They came in and just fucking was like,
Yeah,
we're here, baby. We're here
yeah,
and we're here to kick some booty. And so if
yeah.
they have Finau on that team, not that I mean Kieran obviously was, very, very strong player, very talented. Um, but just adding more firepower to that team, can you imagine? I mean, how do it's gonna be tough to beat if that were the case. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, but you know what? That just fires up the other teams even more.
Anytime you set a benchmark, isn't it? These guys are competitors. They rise to the occasion, and they're so competitive, and they want to
Yeah.
just they hate losing. They hate losing.
You know where else he would fit in quite nicely? And we are not sure if there's an open roster spot, but the High Flyers, Phil's team.
Oh,
Yeah. I have not
oh
yet
yeah,
got confirmation
yeah,
that Tringali's been re-signed and and
yeah, yeah.
that he finished in the open zone without a guarantee for next year. So who knows? Who
Who
knows?
knows? But either way, where if the rumors are true, that would be pretty cool, regardless where he goes. That would be a pretty awesome recruit.
I just I just like being around the guy. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
kind of selfish like that. I love being around Tony Finau. He's
You
just such a good dude.
selfish?
Ah, I don't, you know
Love
what? We
you,
don't really
Foltz.
have any. We have the strongest personalities in the game out here, but we don't really have anybody that's a dick. Terrell Hatton walks around the course and rants and raves at himself, and it's hilarious. And off the course, he's the nicest guy you could ever meet, and quite
Yeah.
reserved, actually. Um, Bubba gets in his moods out there, but off the course, oh my God, he's all he can do is he can't wait to do something for somebody else as soon as he gets done playing.
Yes.
So we don't have anybody who I don't enjoy spending time around at all,
Yeah. Yeah.
except for you.
I mean, fair enough. I get it. I get it. I don't even like my own company, Faulty. It sucks. I hate
Oh,
it. I
whatever.
hate it. I
Yeah,
hate it.
everybody loves
Um,
Su-Ann. It's just
no, that is
it's a damn affliction, is what it is.
no, you and I know that's not true. All right, so
Whatever.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this because again, this is another moment for you to unleash your inner
Unleash?
power and smarts and you know just all your intelligence in this upcoming thought that I
Oh, I
have.
can't wait.
Um,
I have no
there's
idea what
some
the hell you're gonna say.
Bloomberg reporting that DP is in discussions with Liv for a deal that would provide a stable source of funding and a mutual schedule. And go.
I honestly was under the impression that the PGA Tour had the DP World Tour's hands tied through their financial investment that they needed at the time when they could have probably sidled up along the beginning of LIV Golf and probably been a lot better off than they are now, or taken the money, which was I think an investment in the PGA Tour or European Tour Productions, and basically kowtowed to whatever Jay Monahan wanted. I thought they still had the reins on that. If what Bloomberg reported is true, and I hope it is, because it would be great for the European Tour,
Mhm.
the DP World Tour. Um, I think it would be great for all parties. And then let the PGA Tour do their thing. Let them run their business model the way they think they can, and this PGA Tour Enterprises the way they think they can. And we just take golf collectively around the rest of the globe that's tragically underserved for some of the names that will be playing. I think most of our guys would be extremely excited about it. And if they could break away, then we could bring even DP World Tour events onto American soil if wanted,
Mhm.
if there were sites that wanted it, which there will be. So yeah, I think it would be. I think it's a natural. I think we're probably 2.5 years later than it needed to be for that. But I think our hand was forced, and I know their hand was forced.
Apparently, that same deal was reported to have been rejected earlier this year.
I could tell you if they put it to a vote of the current players on the DP World Tour, I imagine it would be an overwhelming majority in favor of it. What they
Yeah.
would lose then is their 10 spots probably to the PGA Tour, and that is the only carrot they have now. Their purses are falling, their crowds are getting lesser and lesser. Name recognition has sunk quite a bit. The one thing I did see though, their ratings have gone up this year, especially late in the year. The DP World Tour ratings have been really strong
Really?
year over year. Now they've been down for a while, so but that's pretty impressive. I think the players would overwhelmingly support it. But as we've learned from what the Tour is doing and their restructuring, there's only a certain couple handfuls of voices that the
Mm.
powers that be are actually listening to anymore. And it's understandable. The stars are who people tune in to watch and who they buy tickets to see.
As I said many times, my take on that is I hope the game unites. That is my hope. I hope that can all come together and move forward and really give fans what they really want. That's kind of the bottom line of it
Yeah.
all, isn't it? So we'll see. Maybe this is the start of some process of healing, which would be great, which would be great for the game of golf. Speaking of great for the game of golf, because everybody on this freaking planet was following Bryson's attempt to get a hole in one over his house for right about 16 days.
Yeah.
16 days. I'm sure you were following it. I was addicted to watching it. And every time he came so close, I cringed. I was just like, no. But he finally did it on day 16 on his 14th shot.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And literally
Most
everybody
guys,
was tweeting about it. Like
yeah,
everybody.
yeah. Well, what I was most captivated by, that's his new house. Was most people I know, they can hit a chip shot over their house. he's got to hit a full sandwich. That's a massive estate he's building. Holy shit.
Hmm.
I
I
saw the
know.
cutest one today, though. It was a kid. I don't remember how old he was, but I think it was either his sixth day or whatever, but he got six balls to hit over their house into a synthetic green in this little corner of the backyard. And he actually made it on the sixth one. It was, yeah,
He
did the same
did.
Bryson celebration, ran around back, did a snow angel on the green. It was, yeah, it was mom ran out of the house. Dad,
Oh,
dad's on the roof with an iPhone, just did a nice job zooming in and what have you, following the ball down there. It was so cute. It was so
that
cute.
is awesome. I tell you what, that Bryson is coming out with some pretty brilliant content, and his final episode for Break 50 this season was Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady. How cool is that? Uh,
Well, I mean,
and
when you get at the time the former president, now president-elect, to do it, that was, I mean, that was nuts. To get
yeah,
somebody of that level of demand and fame and what have you, political beliefs aside, love him or hate him. But yeah, Tom Brady, the GOAT of all quarterbacks, at least many people refer to him as that. Yeah, that's pretty damn cool. But you know what? That's a big reason why Bryson came to live, and that's a big reason why Phil has been trumpeting his horn
mhm,
about players' media rights, about their own rights to be able to do this, which forever, even though they're so-called independent contractors on the PGA Tour, the PGA Tour own those rights. Live doesn't. They own their rights to an extent within the LIV organization in our events, but they let them go do that. They let them be them. They let them build their own brands, and they let them, in the process, uh, to do what we like to, beat the dead horse with the catchphrase, grow the game. And they're
yeah.
creating interest, a tons of interest, especially Bryson, across the world in this silly little game of chasing a white ball around the field.
I know, I know. I watched some of the episode, and Tom Brady had a separate segment for his own. I don't know if it's for his own socials, but they did a long drive competition between Brady and Bryson, and obviously Brady had to give Bryson some kind of handicap, right? So he gave Bryson five drivers. The first one was like a 12.5 ladies flex. Then it was like a 12.5 senior flex, and then it goes all the way to like a more normal, I guess, closer to Bryson. Still not close enough because his driver's like 5 degrees. Um,
Yeah.
but the final driver was like a 9.5 stiff. So obviously, I mean, you have to go watch it. It is really fun. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's great content. It makes you want to
Hmm.
watch. And if you don't give a shit about golf, you still want to watch it anyway because it's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
So,
true.
so cool. So cool.
Uh,
How about Ataya Thitikul? Speaking of cool, LPGA, she shot 5 under in her last 6 holes
yeah.
to win the CME Group Tour Championship. $4 million.
Well, and she won the Aon Risk Reward Challenge that gives a
That's
million
right.
dollars to each the PGA Tour and LPGA. And she won that. She sealed that the week before, but basically it was a $5 million paycheck for her that week. That was
Convert that
pretty
into
damn cool.
bot. Convert that into bot.
Bot
The
is, oh,
Thai
that's the
bot.
Thai.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Thai bot.
Yeah. I have a whole bunch of that in my closet, by the way, because it's like, what is it, like 3 million bot to $1 or
I
something
don't
crazy? It's
know.
nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um,
nuts. It is nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. But I think I read, I don't remember the numbers. I should know this. Um, but I've been flying for 2 days. Uh, there's only, what was it, 18 guys or 20 something guys on the PGA Tour who made more than her this year. That's pretty cool. And the other big news, the commissioner's stepping down.
I
Mollie
did
Marcoux
not see
Samaan,
that.
it was released yesterday as stepping
Oh,
down early January. Their in-house legal counsel, she's a great lady, is going to be the interim while they conduct a global search. And a lot of people hope she gets it. She's really bright. But yeah, there'd been some rumblings for a while from, my ear to because I have a lot of friends out there still. There'd been some rumblings for a while of a little discontent. So they acted pretty quickly on that.
huh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's insane. Speaking of retirement or exit, heading over to the LET, Amy Boulden. just announced her retirement after 11 years on the LET. Talented player, superb athlete, um, super fit, and I think she's moving on to other things. Not sure what, but she's retiring. So
Yeah,
good luck to
this
her.
is the
All the very
this
best.
is the year of ladies retiring. We in a matter of 2 weeks we had Brittany Lincecum, Marina Alex, and Allie McDonald
Yeah,
all retire last week.
I know.
Um,
I know.
it happens. It happens.
I know.
It's weird for golfers to announce a retirement because most times they just kind of fade away. The game retires
Hmm.
you. Or in a case like mine, like John McGinnis said, it wasn't retiring, it was just called quitting. Um, you don't retire unless you had an actual career. But yeah, yeah, I mean, and the game, talking to Karen about it all the time, it's so different and almost not fair, the difference between men's professional sports and women's professional sports, because
Mhm.
having children while playing a year-round schedule and then raising those children while playing a year-round schedule is nearly impossible. Very few have done it successfully. Julie Inkster, Nancy Lopez, and quite a few others have had kids and gone on to successful careers, but it's so tough. And every woman who plays professional golf and has kids and continues to play just talks about how much shorter they hit it just inherently. Um,
Mhm.
so it's almost like in the time commitment it takes. It's almost like if you want to live a normal life and have kids, you got to do what Annika did and completely step away from the game
Yeah.
competitively. And that's it's such a catch 22 for women in professional sports, especially in a professional sport that you can play competitively into your 30s and 40s.
And 50s,
Yeah,
and 60s
yeah,
even. I mean, you look at Lorena, right? She retired so
yeah.
young. So
To have a
young.
family. Yeah,
Correct. Exactly. It is difficult. And I think, if you look at just professional sport in general for women, tennis, I mean, Serena Williams, there's so many that have had kids. And it's just your bodies, you can certainly work and do the things, but you've just carried a human being for 9 months
yeah,
and developed a full fetus into a human being and then birthed it
yeah,
and then basically had to keep it alive with natural milk, right? And your body's working to make those things and then come back and then you have to train yourself. You have to get your, I mean, like shit. Like some people are just like trying to just like freaking survive after having a
yeah,
kid, let alone
yeah,
go back to training and waking up at 5 a.m. and trying to balance the mom work life and traveling and nannies and then the marriage. It's so many things. It's so hard. It is so
yeah.
hard. So I really
Don't
like
envy it.
admire women who've been through it, done it and done it successfully. And I'm still really admire women who have kids and still go back out there and have enough passion and determination for their craft to put themselves back out there, sacrifice their time with their kids, and do it. It's
Yeah,
insane. It's a
yeah.
lot. So,
It is a lot. It is a lot. And, most of the LPGA players don't have the resources to travel a full-time team, if you will, especially
correct.
including a nanny. So they're sharing those responsibilities while the children
Correct.
are young, and then once they start school, it becomes impossible because you never see them.
Yeah, right. And by the way, the LPGA plays so much more of a now, anyways, a more global schedule.
Yeah,
They're flying all over the world. It's even harder to travel
yeah.
with an entourage, right? So,
Hmm. Carlota. So since we're on a big women's thing here, Carlota winning the Spanish Open.
oh yeah, Ciganda.
Carlota, yes. Yep, she was
Yeah.
the hero of the Solheim Cup in Spain. What was that, 2 years ago?
Hmm.
With the clutch shot on the last hole to basically clinch it for Europe. But yeah, she won, and that was the first time I saw her really get emotional. Now Carlota's not won nearly as much as she should, given the kind of player she is. She just isn't quite the same on Sundays when she's in contention a lot of times. But she got it done in front of the home crowd, and that has all the pressure in the world on her. So that was cool to see.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't the level of competition of a normal LPGA event, but there were some damn good players in the field that she beat.
A win is a win. You still got to
Yeah,
play damn good. You still got to
yeah,
close it out on a Sunday, right?
yeah.
So congratulations to Carlota. What I feel like when was her last win before this one?
I think it's only 3 times on the LPGA tour, 2 or 3 times. I don't think
Really?
it's more than that. Yeah, she in contention a ton. Maybe it was 4. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah.
I want to go back and I might go online and watch the final like 4 holes and see like her reaction. Uh,
It takes a
because I
while.
haven't
She's
seen
not the
I,
fastest player.
I haven't seen maybe there's a highlights or something. A highlight package, but I love to watch that because I got to play with her a couple of times when I was playing in Australia, and I just remember just going, it's like there's just moments where you just go, ah, fuck, I'm fucked. Like I'm fucked.
Yeah,
That's like it's like
yeah. I
I'm
can't
gonna have
compete
to
against that.
compete with that, like
Yeah,
what? Like she outdrove me like 40 yards, just
yeah.
hits this like knuckle like bullet drive, runs
Knuckle bullet
forever.
fade. Yeah, it's awesome to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, she's so
Yeah,
talented. And you're right, she should be winning more than she has, but I'm sure that was a very sweet one. All
yeah.
right. Well, that's a wrap for us.
Is
Fultzy,
that it?
try and stay awake. Please go
I'm
down, go for
trying.
a walk, go do something, go get in the sunlight, just get out of your
It's
room.
almost dark here. It's darker. It's cold outside. It's Saudi cold. It's Florida cold. So yeah, it's Singapore cold. It's right now it's in
Yes,
the
it'll be
50s.
cold for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go
But
out and
no.
go, don't stay in your room. You'll screw
Yeah.
yourself up.
And that I'll be screwed for the entire week. And plus, I haven't walked in 3 years. I'm going to be walking 5 hours a day for the next 4 days. I could be 70 next time we talk.
Maybe hit the gym or something.
It's on my floor. I pass by it.
Just go on the treadmill and like walk like 3K or whatever.
Why? I'm going to walk 10 miles a day.
Just so you don't like pass out on Thursday.
Nope, I'm good. I'll make it.
Are you gonna ride the
Should.
cart?
I don't know because I have to be close to the guy with my microphone. So I don't know how it's gonna work out. I think we have a cart and a driver. We'll make it work. That's what you do.
I can't wait to get pictures of this. Like, I just can't wait. Like you out there again with your pack, old school.
No pack. That's the cool part. You just have a little radio and an earbud because the other guy has your mic, the
Right, right,
transmission
right.
stuff.
Yeah, and the pole.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I
So
I'm I can't wait to watch it. Good luck. Good luck. I'm sure you're gonna slay it. You're gonna kill it. I just
probably
hope
fuck
you
it up,
come
but
out of it alive. Without the beers, and plus the walk, you might get like a 6 pack by the end of the week.
2,000 feet of altitude as well. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could have a. I could have. Yeah, it could be. It could be the end of me. Certainly the end of my career.
Anyways, thank you so much for joining us on Fairway-to-Heaven. We appreciate you, as always, and appreciate your support. If you like this podcast, please do share it with your friends, and you can find all the episodes on the LIV Golf YouTube page under Fairway-to-Heaven. You can find all the episodes there if you want to catch up on the ones that you missed. We're also on our social platforms, X, Instagram, TikTok, at FDH_LIV Golf. So please do follow us, leave some comments, and you can communicate with both Jerry and myself through those mediums. And yes, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Apple, or wherever you consume your podcasts. Pleasure as always. Foltzy, good luck this week. I can now
Thanks.
officially say that I'll see you in a week.
Yes, a week from today. You get what day do you get here?
Yes. I get there, I think Monday night for
Okay.
our LIV Golf promotions event.
Yes, that's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun.
Yes. One
Yeah.
spot
So yeah, we'll be doing this in person again next year or next week. I love it.
next week and hopefully
Yeah.
next year.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows? I know.
Be good.
All
Travel
right.
safe. Tell Casey I said hi. Give him my love, Uncle Knucklehead, and I'll chat at you.
I will. I will. All
All
right.
right.
Take care.